Brother, let's be real, words are cheap. Anyone can say, I like you, or I'm into you. But the truth? It's not the words that reveal attraction. It's the small, unconscious things she does around you. Most men miss these signals because they're too busy focusing on what she says instead of how she shows it. And that's why so many guys get blindsided. They can't read the signs until it's too late. Today, I want to break down some powerful but often overlooked ways women reveal genuine interest. These aren't the cliches you've heard 1,000 times. These are the subtle shifts, the little moments, the things you'll only notice if you slow down and pay attention. Because once you see them, brother, you'll never look at her behavior the same way again. Point 1. She remembers the small details. Brother, here's something most men overlook. When a woman is genuinely interested, she doesn't just listen, she stores. She tucks away those little details you probably didn't even think twice about. You might casually mention your favorite snack one evening, and a week later she shows up with it, smiling like it's no big deal. Or maybe in passing you talk about a dream you had as a kid, playing guitar, starting a business, traveling to a certain place. And a few days later, she asks, Hey, did you ever look into that? That's not coincidence. That's investment. See, a woman who doesn't care will forget half of what you say by tomorrow. But a woman who's drawn to you makes space for you in her mind. She collects those little pieces, your preferences, your stories, your quirks, because they matter to her. That's her way of saying, you're not just another guy passing through. You're someone I want to understand. I'll tell you why this matters. Most guys think attraction is about grand gestures, fireworks, or some huge confession. But the truth? It's built in the small, almost invisible ways she chooses to remember you. The way she notices you like your coffee a certain way, or how she remembers the exact shirt you wore when you first met. Those things seem small, but brother, they reveal everything. Because when a woman keeps holding on to those details, it means she's placing you somewhere deeper than memory. She's placing you in her heart. Point 2, she carves out time for you. Listen, man, time is the one thing we never get back. Everyone's got obligations, work deadlines, family commitments, personal goals. And because of that, people love to hide behind the phrase, I'm just too busy. But here's the raw truth. Nobody is ever too busy for what they truly value. If she's into you, she'll make time. Not talk about it, not promise it. She'll create it. Maybe it looks simple. She stays up late, even when she has to wake up early, just because the conversation with you feels worth losing a little sleep over. Or she squeezes you in between errands, meeting you for coffee, because even 30 minutes with you is better than none. I've watched women with calendars packed tighter than a drum shift things around just to grab an hour with a man they couldn't get out of their head. That's not convenience. That's priority. And here's the flip side. If she's always too busy, if every time you try to connect she's got an excuse, don't fool yourself. That's not attraction, that's avoidance. Because interest always finds a way. So pay attention, brother. The woman who makes time for you is really saying, you matter enough for me to bend my world a little. And that speaks louder than any sweet words ever could. Point 3, she initiates the little connections. Brother, let me tell you something most men overlook. Attraction doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers. A woman who's interested won't just wait for you to make every move. She'll find little ways to bridge the gap. Maybe it's a text in the middle of the day that says, hope your meeting went well. Or a random meme she drops in your inbox because she thought it'd make you laugh. Or maybe it's a song she shares with a message. This reminded me of you. See, those aren't random. Those are investments. She's keeping the thread alive because she wants you in her orbit. It's her way of saying, I'm thinking of you, without actually spelling it out. And here's the key. Nobody does that for someone they don't care about. I'll put it this way. Attention is energy, and people guard their energy. If she's spending it on you, reaching out, checking in, finding reasons to stay connected, that's not an accident. That's attraction in motion. So don't ignore the small stuff. Sometimes those hey texts or those little jokes she sends are louder than any big speech. Because when a woman wants to keep you in her world, she'll always find little doors to knock on. And if she's knocking, brother, you'd better recognize what that means. Point 4. She mirrors your energy. Brother, here's a subtle sign most men miss. When a woman is drawn to you, her body syncs with yours without her even realizing it. It's called mirroring. If you lean in, she leans in. If you sit back and relax, she mirrors that posture. If you're speaking with excitement, her tone rises to meet yours. This isn't about her trying to copy you. It's deeper than that. It's her biology tuning into your frequency. Think of it like music. When two instruments are in harmony, one doesn't have to force the other. They naturally fall into rhythm. That's what's happening when she mirrors you. Her subconscious is telling you, I feel connected. I'm with you in this moment. I once saw this play out at a cafe. A guy was telling a story, leaning forward, his hands moving with energy, and without noticing, the woman across from him leaned in too, her hands moving almost in the same rhythm. It wasn't staged, it was instinct. That attraction showing up in real time, without a single word spoken. So pay attention, brother. Words can lie. Smiles can be polite. But when her body starts reflecting yours, that's not acting, that's connection. And if she's mirroring your energy, her body is already revealing the truth her mind may still be hiding. Point 5. She looks for ways to be close. Brother, let me tell you something real. Proximity speaks louder than words ever could. A woman who's drawn to you will find excuses, subtle ones, to be in your space. She doesn't need to say, I like you. Her body says it for her. Maybe you're at a dinner with friends and every seat is open, yet she slides into the chair right next to you. Maybe when she hugs you goodbye, it lingers, just half a second longer than it needs to. Or maybe during a conversation, she shifts close enough that her shoulder brushes against yours, even though there's plenty of room to stand apart. That's not random. That's instinct pulling her closer. I've seen this play out countless times. Two people in a room full of others, but if you watch closely, they keep orbiting each other, standing near, leaning in, creating these little bubbles of closeness no one else notices. That's attraction, brother. That's a way of saying, I feel safe with you. I want to be in your energy. So don't get lost only in her words. Pay attention to where she places herself, because a woman who isn't interested will create distance. But a woman who's drawn to you, she'll always, somehow, find her way closer. Point 6. She teases to test comfort. Brother, let me tell you, teasing isn't always a maturity. When it comes from a woman who's drawn to you, it's a signal, a playful jab, a sarcastic remark, or a calling you out in a joking way isn't about disrespect. It's her way of checking. Can I be myself around him? Can he handle a little tension without crumbling? Think about it. People don't tease strangers on the street. They don't risk humor with someone they don't feel comfortable with. Teasing only shows up when there's familiarity, when there's a spark to play with. And when she teases you, she's not just playing around. She's testing. She's seeing if you can take the joke, roll with it, and even throw one back. I've seen this countless times. A woman laughs at a guy's reaction after poking fun at his shirt, or she playfully challenges something he said. If he gets defensive or sulks, attraction fades. But if he smirks, fires back lightly, or just laughs it off, the whole vibe shifts. She leans in more, because tension, brother, that lighthearted back and forth, is the soil where attraction grows. So don't confuse teasing with disrespect. If she's laughing, if it's playful, if she's trying to get under your skin in a fun way, it means she's inviting connection. The real question is, can you handle it without losing your cool? Point 7. She supports your wins, big or small. Brother, pay close attention to this one. A woman who's truly into you won't just show up when the spotlight's on. She'll celebrate even the small victories you barely mention. Maybe you finally finished that project at work that was stressing you out. She'll light up and say, I knew you could do it. Or maybe you hit a new personal record at the gym. She's hyping you up like you just won a championship. That enthusiasm isn't about the size of the achievement. It's about the fact that you achieved it. See, when a woman is invested, your growth feels like her growth. Your wins feel like her wins. She doesn't clap, because it's impressive to the world. She claps because she's emotionally tied to your journey. And here's the key, man. Support like that isn't casual. Anyone can like your post when you buy a new car or land a big promotion. But when she's genuinely excited about the little steps, your consistency, your progress, your grind, that's attraction speaking. That's loyalty in disguise. Because deep down, she's not just rooting for what you achieve. She's rooting for you. Point 8. She lets her guard slip. Brother, this one is big. A woman can laugh, flirt, and even spend time with a man without ever really letting him in. But when she starts peeling back those layers, that's when you know it's deeper than surface attraction. Maybe she shares a story about her childhood that shaped her. Maybe she admits a fear she usually hides. Maybe she confesses an insecurity she doesn't talk about with anyone else. That's her lowering the mask. And here's the truth. Women don't open up like that to men they don't trust. If she's letting you see the side of her that isn't polished, the side that's a little messy, a little raw, it means you've already crossed a line most men never reach. Think of it this way. Vulnerability is an invitation. It's her saying, here's the real me. Can you handle it? And if you respond with presence, not judgment, not fixing, just presence, she feels safe. And when she feels safe, she connects. Because attraction isn't just about sparks, laughter, or chemistry. It's about the moments when she lets you see who she really is. And if she's doing that with you, brother, you're standing in a place most men only dream of. Point 9. She subtly competes for your attention. Brother, this one's sneaky, but it's one of the clearest signs if you know how to watch for it. See, attraction has a way of slipping out when she feels like she might lose your focus. If you're in a group and other women are around, pay attention. Suddenly, she's speaking louder, laughing harder, or telling stories that make you look at her. Maybe she fixes her hair while you're glancing another way. Maybe she casually touches your arm while another woman is talking. That's not random. That's instinct. It's her way of saying, don't forget me. Don't overlook me. She may never admit it out loud, but that little spark of competition, that's attraction in disguise. Women don't fight for the attention of men they don't care about. I once watched this play out at a friend's birthday party. 2 women were sitting near the same guy. The one who liked him kept jumping into conversations he had with others, even cracking jokes just to pull his eyes back to her. It wasn't desperate. It was subtle, almost playful. But it was clear as day. She wanted him to notice her above everyone else. And brother, that's the thing. When a woman is into you, she doesn't just want to be another voice in a room. She wants to be the voice you remember. And that subtle competition for your attention, that's attraction talking louder than words ever could. Point 10. She shows consistency, not just sparks. Brother, anyone can put on a show for a night. Anyone can flirt, laugh at your jokes, or give you that long stare across the room when the vibe feels right. But here's the truth. Sparks are easy. Sparks are everywhere. What's rare, what's real is consistency. See, when a woman is truly interested, she doesn't just show up when it's convenient or when she's bored. She shows up over time. She checks in when she doesn't have to. She remembers your goals weeks later and asks how they're going. She keeps carving out space for you in her world, not just once, but again and again. I'll tell you something, brother. I've seen women who light up a man's phone one weekend, only to vanish the next like nothing happened. That's not loyalty. That's just curiosity. But the one who's steady, the one who continues to invest, to reach out, to support your wins and stand by you even when life isn't shiny, that's different. That's not a spark anymore. That's a flame. And flames are what last. Because consistency means you're not just an option in her downtime. You're a priority. And when a woman treats you like that, you'll feel it deep down. That's the difference between passing attraction and something worth building on. So, here's the bottom line, brother. Attraction isn't always spoken. It's shown. It's in the details she remembers, the time she makes, the closeness she seeks, and the way she lowers her guard. Stop obsessing over what she says, and start paying attention to what she does. Because once you tune into those signals, you won't waste time wondering where you stand. You'll know. And here's the deeper truth. When you stop chasing words and start reading actions, You free yourself. You stop overthinking. You stop begging for clarity. Instead, you see the truth for what it is. And that clarity, brother, is what keeps you from falling into the traps that break so many men.